Tony Curtis confessed it all in the note he left behind. Tony Curtis was born Bernard Schwartz on June 3, 1925, in the Bronx, New York, and was one of Hollywood's most charismatic and versatile actors. Raised in a family of Hungarian Jewish immigrants, Curtis' early life was far from glamorous. His father was a tailor, struggling to make ends meet during the Great Depression, while his mother battled mental health issues. These challenges would shape Curtis' resilience and determination, driving him to seek an escape from poverty through a career in acting. Early life and childhood struggles. Curtis' childhood was filled with hardship. His family was poor, and his parents often fought, which left a lasting impression on him. He was also sent to an orphanage for a brief period when his parents could no longer afford to care for him and his younger brother, Julius. Tragedy struck the family when Julius was killed in a traffic accident at a young age, a loss that deeply affected Curtis for the rest of his life. Despite these early setbacks, Curtis found solace in movies, dreaming of one day becoming a Hollywood star. As a teenager, Curtis enlisted in the U.S. Navy during World War II, serving aboard a submarine tender in the Pacific. His experiences during the war exposed him to a broader world and solidified his ambitions to pursue acting upon his return to civilian life. After the war, Curtis took advantage of the GI Bill, enrolling in acting classes at the New School in New York. There, he honed his craft and began to build connections within the industry. The rise to stardom in 1948, Curtis moved to Hollywood and signed a contract with Universal Pictures, adopting the stage name Tony Curtis. He made his film debut in Criss Cross, 1949, but it was his appearance in Winchester 73, 1950, alongside James Stewart that garnered attention from both audiences and critics. With his striking good looks and natural charm, Curtis quickly became a sought-after leading man. His breakthrough came in 1953 with Houdini, where he starred opposite his first wife, actress Janet Leigh. Curtis's portrayal of the famed magician solidified his place in Hollywood, and his on-screen chemistry with Leigh translated into real life, as the two became one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples. Curtis's rise to fame was swift, and he soon became known not only for his acting talent but also for his matinee idol status. He was particularly popular with teenage fans, often cast in romantic roles that capitalized on his youthful appeal. Curtis was determined to break free from being typecast, and he sought out more challenging roles that showcased his range as an actor. One of his most iconic performances came in Some Like It Hot, 1959, a screwball comedy directed by Billy Wilder. Starring alongside Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe, Curtis's portrayal of a musician who disguises himself as a woman to escape the mob was both hilarious and endearing. The film is widely considered one of the greatest comedies of all time, and Curtis's ability to blend comedic timing with genuine emotion was pivotal to its success. Critical acclaim and career highs. As his career progressed, Curtis continued to take on diverse roles. In Sweet Smell of Success, 1957, he played a morally ambiguous press agent opposite Burt Lancaster. The film was a critical success and showcased Curtis's ability to portray complex, darker characters. His performance was widely praised, and it marked a turning point in his career, proving that he was more than just a pretty face. Curtis's role in The Defiant Ones, 1958, alongside Sidney Poitier earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. The film, which tackled issues of race and social justice, remains one of Curtis's most powerful performances. Throughout the 1960s, Curtis remained a major box office draw. He appeared in films such as Spartacus, 1960, directed by Stanley Kubrick, where he played a Roman slave. His performance was widely appreciated, further cementing his status as one of Hollywood's leading men. Curtis also ventured into television during this time, starring in the popular series The Persuaders. Alongside Roger Moore, while Curtis' film roles began to decline in the late 1960s, he continued to work steadily, often appearing in guest roles on television and in independent films. Curtis' personal life was as tumultuous as his on-screen career was successful. He was married 6 times and had 6 children, including actress Jamie Lee Curtis. His marriage to Janet Leigh, which produced 2 daughters, ended in divorce in 1962. Curtis later admitted that his fame and the pressures of Hollywood contributed to the breakdown of his relationships. He struggled with substance abuse, particularly during the 1970s, when his career began to decline. However, Curtis eventually sought treatment and was able to maintain sobriety later in life. Despite his personal struggles, Curtis remained dedicated to his craft. He continued to act well into his later years, even as he battled health problems. He also became a passionate visual artist, finding solace in painting and exhibiting his works in galleries around the world. Curtis' art was highly reflective of his life experiences, often drawing upon themes of his youth, his Hollywood career, and his inner battles. Tony Curtis, the legendary Hollywood actor, left an indelible mark on the world of entertainment with his charming on-screen presence, versatile acting skills, and unforgettable roles in films such as Some Like It Hot and Spartacus. However, behind the glitz and glamour of his public persona, Curtis carried the weight of deeply personal struggles and unresolved emotions, many of which he confessed in a poignant note that he left behind. This note, discovered after his passing in 2010, revealed a side of Curtis that the world had seldom seen, a man who had battled inner demons, harbored regrets and sought redemption for mistakes made throughout his life. In the note, Curtis reflected on the turbulence that had marked much of his life. While fans adored him for his effortless charisma and good looks, his private life was far more complex. He had been married 6 times and was the father of 6 children, including actress Jamie Lee Curtis, yet his relationships with his family were often strained. His note laid bare the emotional toll that fame and a relentless pursuit of stardom had taken on him. He confessed to feelings of guilt over the way his career had impacted his ability to be present as a father and husband, acknowledging that the pursuit of Hollywood success had come at a great personal cost. Curtis also spoke candidly about his struggles with addiction. During the height of his career, he had fallen victim to the pressures of fame and the temptations of the entertainment industry, turning to alcohol and drugs as a way to cope with the stress and maintain his image. In his note, he admitted that these addictions had not only tarnished his career at times but had also led to the deterioration of key relationships in his life. He expressed sorrow over the opportunities he missed and the people he hurt along the way, particularly his children, with whom he had a complicated relationship. Curtis acknowledged the pain he had caused and the efforts he had made in later years to make amends, though he lamented that some wounds could never fully heal. The note also contained reflections on Curtis' early life, offering a glimpse into the hardships that had shaped him long before he became a Hollywood star. Born Bernard Schwartz to Hungarian Jewish immigrants in the Bronx, Curtis endured a difficult childhood marked by poverty, the loss of his younger brother, and an abusive father. These formative experiences instilled in him a fierce determination to succeed, but they also left scars that would influence his behavior throughout his adult life. In his final words, Curtis expressed a sense of longing for the innocence and simplicity of his early years, before fame had complicated his life in ways he hadn't anticipated. Another poignant revelation in Curtis' note was his complicated relationship with his Jewish identity. Throughout his life, he had grappled with questions of faith and identity, often feeling disconnected from his heritage in an industry that valued conformity and image over personal authenticity. In his later years, Curtis had reconnected with his roots, even going so far as to restore synagogues in Hungary, but his note suggested that he still carried unresolved feelings about his past and his place in the world. Despite the confessions of regret, sorrow, and struggle, Curtis' note was not without hope. He expressed a deep love for his children, especially Jamie Lee Curtis, with whom he had repaired his relationship in his final years. He took solace in the knowledge that he had left behind a legacy in the form of his art, one that had brought joy to millions. Curtis also conveyed a sense of peace about his mortality, acknowledging that while his life had been far from perfect, he had lived it fully, experiencing both the highs of Hollywood stardom and the depths of personal anguish. In his final words, he expressed a desire to be remembered not just for his films, but for the man he truly was, flawed, complicated, but ultimately, a survivor. In the end, Tony Curtis's note is a testament to the complexities of fame. It sheds light on the often hidden struggles of a man who, for decades, had captivated audiences with his charm and talent, yet was himself haunted by the price of that success. His confession, raw and unfiltered, offers a poignant reminder that even the most glamorous lives are often marked by deep, unseen challenges. Through his final words, Curtis sought not only to unburden his soul but also to leave behind a message of redemption and understanding, inviting those who loved him to see him as he truly was, a man who, despite his flaws, had lived a life worth remembering. Tony Curtis passed away on September 29, 2010, at the age of 85, leaving behind a rich legacy of cinematic achievements. In the years since his passing, Curtis' contributions to film have been celebrated by fans and critics alike. His ability to seamlessly transition between genres, from comedy to drama, from action to romance, showcased his versatility as an actor. He was not only a box office draw but also a performer with depth, capable of bringing complex characters to life.